debut. Oh yeah, now my people, it's your guy, the Nigerian Englishman, and we are back here on One Touch TV. And hey, it's another episode of Free Touches, and I've got an all-star panel here today. A couple of debuts as well. Who knows, may score a couple braces or hat tricks on the show live on One Touch TV. You never know. But first of all, let's get into a couple of the regular faces that you've seen on the channel before first, and I'm gonna leave the debutants till last. But first of all, One Touch TV royalty. You know him. You know the name. You see him all over social media. He was our representative at AFCON earlier on this year, doing big things. My guy, Akpos Mr Football in Pidgin. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. It's always good to be home. There's no place like home. So One Touch TV is home for me. So and I know it's going to be a very interesting show with the star-studded lineup you've got lined up for today's show. So bring it on. Let's go.
Big up. And also my guy, my Armoury TV familia. It's been a while since we've shared a stream together, but welcome back to the show, my guy Canners. How you doing, bro?
Blessed, man. Thank you for having me. It's been a while, but pleasure to be on here, man. Thanks for the call up, man. I made the first 11.
Always. Yeah, they were saying he was the Pepe of the channel. But I think you're more valuable to the channel than that, Canners. You're more valuable to the channel than Pepe is to Arsenal, man. Don't take that. But without further ado, got a couple debutants. You've seen me on a couple of streams of this guy in the past. He's also seen me on the Armoury TV with him. You've seen him on Football Capital, representing from down under, my guy, Aussie Gooner. How you doing, my bro?
Pretty good, brother. Pretty good. Thanks for having me on the show. I was a little bit worried, mate. I was really worried. I heard, 3 touches. I'm like, mate, I like you, but not that much. We know each other, but not that well. Shouldn't we at least wine and dine? This is a bit, full on.
We should get to know each other before we touch each other 3 times. I know, bro.
That's what I'm saying, mate. Thanks for having me on, mate. I think we're gonna have some fun tonight.
I definitely think so. Whenever Aussie's in the building, it's about to go down now. So it's very explosive, man. Big up, Aussie. Thanks for coming on the channel. Anytime, also, my guy, we've gone back and forth. He would. I would say he thinks I'm a bit more. I wouldn't say the negative type of Arsenal fan, but I strip it all back and see how it is. I don't get caught up in the lights too much. But we've had a couple of debates on EGTV in the past. His channel is doing great things right now as well. Welcome for his One Touch TV debut, man like Tereak Talks. How you doing, Tereak?
Hey, Nigel, man. Yo, this is what I love. This intro that you've given for everyone has been amazing. Hey, when you and Ozzy, I was just hearing 3 touches, having fun tonight, about to go down. I'm like, yo, this is going to be a bad madness. Pause, people. But pleasure for inviting me, man. I'm looking forward to this one.
I'm just waiting for him to come out. Let's get ready to.
Bro, copyright infringement, or I would have had the theme music in the background, man. You get it?
True.
But guys, as they love to call it, silly season is in full effect. The transfer window is open. Everybody, especially when it comes to our football club, links upon links upon links. They might as well call us Links FC because we get linked into everything, bro. But we're here to talk about some of the players that we're in for. I believe that Gabriel and Tielemans, I believe they're done. It's just a matter of time. I think Tielemans probably towards the end of the window. So I don't want to talk too much about those ones. But I do want to talk about some of the attacking players that we've been interested in and linked with. The last thing I heard was that we made I think a total of 70 million bid for Raphinha, 55 million, and then 15 million of add-ons or something like that. First of all, I'm going to introduce one of the debutants, Aussie Gooner. What do you think about this interest? Do you believe he's the right player at the right price, or do you think we can go and find a cheaper option, which is better elsewhere?
Look, I'm always been up for Premier League proven. I had enough of going overseas and gambling and, he needs to bet in. He needs time with the squad. He needs to get used to the league. Negative. I'm not in the mood. This season for us is important. Now, Raphinha has kept... if it wasn't for Raphinha, where would Leeds be, right? I honestly think it's a good move. I think, to be honest, he will play right wing if he plays for Arsenal. And I know everyone's going to say, what do you mean? What about Saka? Saka originally, if everyone remembers, played on the left. And my man Tierney and Saka, I think together on that left-hand side, are going to carve some shit up. Mainly because Tierney knows how to overlap Saka. And we all know Saka's a kind of player that likes to get to the corner of the box, hold it up and cut in. Now, when you've got a left back that can cut past you, it opens up options. Unfortunately, on the right, Takahiro, not the best right wing back, is a right back, doesn't offer as much. Whereas Raphinha is a kind of winger that doesn't necessarily need someone to overlap him. He's just got too much pace, for anyone to keep with him. So I honestly think that Raphinha would be a really nice addition to our attack. And I know you're thinking, what about Martinelli? Fight for your position, maybe fight for number 9. But I honestly think it's a good move. And to be honest, for the money, it's not bad.
Do you know? I'm glad you brought up that Martinelli thing because someone mentioned it to me. I think it was Gnabry from Channel TV. He was talking about if we sign a Raphinha or Gnabry, it's going to stunt the growth of a Martinelli. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, as a fan, I don't give a damn in it. I want competition in my side. I want people to be fighting for positions. I don't want anyone to feel comfortable. Like Martinelli, for me, he got a little bit too comfortable towards the back end of last season. He don't get me wrong, he played well, but I think other than him pressing and beating a man, creatively, he wasn't giving us a lot on that left flank. So in terms of him as a player this season, for me, I think he needs to be developed into a centre forward. But what you're saying about was interesting about Raphinha in terms of you think he's going to be the option that we pick on the right. Akpos, do you agree with that, or do you think because of it, Saka's favoured position this season, he'll get the nod as it's kind of he's a Halem boy, it's his club, he's got the number 7 shirt. Like, what do you reckon?
Firstly, I want to agree with everything Aussie Gooner said because I think we're beginning to learn from our mistakes in some of the transfers past. We did the same mistake when we went for Nicolas Pepe ahead of Wilfried Zaha. Wilfried Zaha was Premier League proven, known waters. He could contribute goals and assists. We went to bring in a player from a different league who came in for a massive transfer, and we know how these transfers work. When the players come in for a massive transfer for a different league, the fans are not going to give you time to get adapted to the league or the culture of the new country and all of that. So all of these factors and what we have experienced with the Nicolas Pepe transfer being a massive failure, we're beginning to learn from that in going for Raphinha, being one of the best players for Leeds United, if not the best for last season. 11 goals, 3 assists. That tells you that this is a player who would come in with goal contribution for us. I think that's one of the areas where we've been deficient from the last season. We are not scoring a lot of goals. We are not creating a lot of chances. Raphinha coming into our team, we bring in goals, we bring in assists, we bring in chance creation. So I think that is a good one. And the thing that gives me joy about the way we're moving in this transfer, I know it's not yet a done deal and all of that, is the fact that we are going in for the best players in the league right now. Yeah. We are not just sitting back and letting the other top sides go in for these players. We are getting in the midst of the fight. That shows that we are ready to show some form of resistance to this top level team. We are not where we used to be, quite all right. But in years past, I've seen us folding our hands when it comes to transfers, like for Raphinha. But right now, we are not folding our hands. We are letting these guys know, okay, if you are willing to bring out the checkbook, we will too. And it looks like Mikel Arteta and Edu have a game plan. They have a project they could sell to these guys that would want to make them consider Arsenal. A lot of people have been saying that we missed out on top 4. Are we going to convince top players? We look like we've convinced Gnabry Jesus over Tottenham, over Chelsea. We look like we're going to convince Raphinha. We know his first choice from all the reports is Barcelona. Barcelona have not got that kind of money right now. I think that's a plus for us. That's a big edge for us in that move. But it looks like if we are going to push, we need a coach. We need head of transfers, directors who can sell a project to these top players. Raphinha, for me, one of the top players, one of the top talents in this league. So for us to be in the midst for him, I think it's going to be a plus for us. Even if we are not able to get the job done. But I'm praying, I'm hoping we are able to get it over the finish line to bring him into the team. Because you said something about him coming in, if it will decelerate the progress of Gabriel Martinelli. Man, we need to start. I like that your ideology of looking at the bigger picture. We need this guy. Look at Liverpool. Look at Liverpool. Liverpool has let Sadio Mane out, Minamino out also. 2 good players out. Divock Origi also out. But look at the attacking line they still got left.
And they just brought Nunes in as well.
We are not yet on the level of Liverpool right now, but that's where we should be looking at. Having quality players in these positions that would readily come
100%.
into the team, and you wouldn't feel the absence of whoever is starting.
100%. Akpos, if I had to guess, we would have to say Akpos is pretty excited about this transfer window right about now, isn't it?
No, honestly, no. Why I'm being excited is the fact that one thing I've not seen in the season past is when players are like Raphinha are being in the market, we wouldn't be in for them, honestly. But that gives me some kind of hope that I think maybe the owners are ready to compete, just maybe. But we don't know until the end of the transfer window. We can't really assess it until the end of the transfer windows. But I think like season past, a transfer for Raphinha would not even be in our books.
Before we continue and address those points by Akpos, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Big up everyone in the comment section, whether you're watching now or watching later. Egal, I'm sending it to you right now, bro. I'm sending it to you right now. Tereak, in terms of this signing, although he's, as Akpos and Aussie Gooner said, Premier League proven, we've been killed for not signing these Premier League proven players in the past. But the money, 70 million for this player, do you think that means that we'll spend less in other areas, or do you think we do have the war chest of 200 plus million and he's worth the money? Like, what are you saying about the price for this guy?
The price, you know what? If you thought Akpos was excited about this transfer window, you're going to get even more excitement over here. I might just top that, because Raphinha is the best player outside of the big 6 clubs in the Premier League, in my honest opinion. Zaha's a close second, but when we're looking at what Raphinha can bring in terms of goals, assists, carrying, responsibility, like leadership qualities in that sense, and that's for a poor Leeds side that was struggling with their key players in Bamford, Phillips being out, that really messed up with the structure and the balance of the side. And yeah, so that's what I'm looking at in terms of Raphinha. He's just that level below world class, but if he makes that next step, whether it's at Arsenal, Barcelona, Chelsea, and he emulates that level that he has done at Leeds, he's a world-class winger. And we're talking about him with the likes of, your Serge Gnabry, who's been linked with Arsenal, of course, and we'll get into him. But yeah, the level that Raphinha is at. And the final thing to top it all off, I'm a massive Bukayo Saka fan. He's got the name in the back of the shirt, but he's a better player today than what Saka is, in my opinion, today. I'm not saying that he's going to be a better player overall than Bukayo Saka throughout his career, because Saka's 20, and the level that he's at 20 years of age, Raphinha was nowhere near that. So if he can continue to gradually progress, he'll blow past Raphinha. But yeah, man, the money, when you're looking at it, the 70 million, like, that's what you're going to be paying for Premier League proven players who are about to make that next step up with Leeds. Of course, if they'd have got relegated, it would have been for cheaper. But when you're looking at, you're taking from a rival and you're improving on our attack, and we're trying to get into that Manchester City and Liverpool mode in terms of Aussie and Akpos hit the nail on the head. You got to fight for that position. And if Gabriel Martinelli, Emil Smith-Rowe, the likes of those guys aren't ready, then that's for our benefit, and we can then. I don't want it to happen, of course not, because we've built an affiliation with these players. They've taken a lot of responsibility in times where we had like our Lacazette, Aubameyang's missing. But if they're not going to step up to the plate and get us to that next level as well and help us get there, then we're going to have to cash in, and then that's when we may see a change in our approach.
I'd rather, just like you were saying, Tereak, I'd rather our players getting pushed rather than feel they're guaranteed. Because we've seen in the past with like, remember Coquelin? I believe if we had signed a DM to challenge him at the time where he was performing, we would have got a better Coquelin. In terms of Iwobi, if we didn't play him as often so early, I reckon we could have got a better player because we made those players feel like they were already first team starters too early. I feel like, and these players coming in gives them a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you're gonna have to deal with. And if these players want to play for their national teams in Emile Smith-Rowe and Gabriel Martinelli, they're gonna need to get used to that type of pressure because that's what they're going to be competing on the international front as well. So. Yeah, it's all about taking us to the next level for me, and Raphinha does that. And to kind of get at the last point of your question, does that mean we'll not spend elsewhere? Given the strong rumours and links that's been around, I'm not too sure if it will prevent us from doing that. Maybe the Tielemans deal, possibly we might need to sell to get him in. But with the Lisandro Martinez, we see him heavily linked with him as well. So I don't think it's going to hinder us in that sense. What we may be proven wrong, and that's if we get Raphinha, of course, because there's a lot of clubs interested in him right now.
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of work to do to get that over the line. Big up the comment section, man like Silver Fox. This panel is fire. Bigging up everyone in the panel. Also making he's been on One Touch TV once before, but it was a short period of time. But back again. Representing EGTV, man like Egal. How you doing, my guy?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. See the regulars. We got Aussie Gooner in the house. We got Tereak. I'm sorry, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot your name in the top corner, but I met you the other day, Ken.
Akpos.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Of course.
But how you guys
doing?
All
right.
We're good,
man. We're good. Just before we bring you in there, Egal, Canners.
Yeah.
I think Tereak mentioned Raphinha. Did you say he was world class or just below world class?
That level below. If he carries on that form into a top club, then he's world class in my sense.
Okay, so Canners, I want you to talk on that, whether you agree with that analysis of Raphinha, but also how do you see him fitting into the side? Do you see him playing on the left, on the right? Do you see us doing that Robin Duff thing that Mourinho did that year when he first won the Premier League? What do you think was going to go on with this if Raphinha?
Listen, I echo what the previous guys have said regarding Raphinha. For me, he's a big talent. I agree, just a level below world class, but he's on that level. And you know what the thing is though, the problem we have with our squad is that really and truly you could probably count. I don't know if you can actually count the amount of truly world-class players we have in our squad. And to be honest, the closer we can get to that kind of level is better for us. Now, I know I'm going to go back a little bit in time, but this kind of signing, right, represents where Arteta wants to get to, right? What I mean by that is, okay, you look at the squad of the level of the Invincibles and their training sessions. I'm going to their training sessions, how they would always push each other. I've had firsthand knowledge and discussions with someone who witnessed their training sessions and how ridiculous they wouldn't hold back. These guys, the Invincibles, they wouldn't hold back. And this is what we need. And this is what basically Raphinha isn't, I don't think, brought here to play on the left. He is to play on the right. And he's not instead of Saka. Saka won't play on the left. Saka will play on the right. But what will happen is that there will be a level of competition between those two. Now, you see with Saka's numbers, whatever, the start of the season were great. Okay, his performances were brilliant. But as what happened, he dovetailed. Towards the end of the season, he was knackered. Listen, you interchange those two throughout, and there's going to be no drop off in terms of quality. And that was the problem last season, is that if you took Saka out, who'd you put in? And you end up putting kind of, the old kind of saying, the square pegs in round holes kind of thing. So sometimes you might shift ESR to the right. Pepe, he didn't really bring it, so the level would drop off. With Raphinha and Saka dovetailing with each other, it will just be another level where we won't be dropping. And the biggest
if one
compliment,
has to rest, it never has to really affect
exactly,
the quality of
exactly.
the team, yeah.
The biggest compliment, and this is why I know that this transfer is going to happen, right? Because Arteta loves Raphinha. If you remember the game against Leeds, what did he do?
He patted him on
Put
the back.
Tomiyasu on at left back.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Put him right on
Yeah.
him. Yeah, right.
Sure.
That's the first time we
He
saw him
put
on that point,
Tomiyasu
you're
at left back to shut him out because he was their danger. He knew that. And to be fair, because I was at that game, Raphinha didn't have the best of games. But truly, one-on-ones, Tomiyasu is probably our best defender. And that's what he did. He disturbed the balance of our team to counter their main threat. So that, for me, is telling us that Arteta rates him highly. Okay, and you know what? 50 mil plus 20 mil add-ons. 3 years, he'd be worth over 100 mil if he carries on the trajectory he's going on right now.
And he's young still as well, so he's got selling value if we do decide to do that. I hear
You know what? As well, his numbers, right, on take-ons over the last couple of seasons. Right, so I think it's Mane and him have only 2 players basically who've had 100 completed dribbles and take-ons
And shots.
But do you think, like you're saying, that Saka and Raphinha are going to interchange? Do you think that Arteta is going to spend 70 million for a guy who's going to be rotating off the bench? I don't see it.
I think. Do you know what?
I see a switch, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but if you see Saka playing on that left, when he plays on that left, he's so much smoother. It's just that he's playing the right because Martinelli can't play the right. I'm telling you, man, you see him on that left, it's just...
For me, Saka's game, something's lost from Saka's game when he comes from the left. I mean, you've got the likes of Martinelli, ESR can bounce off there. Then you've got the new guy, the kid Marquinhos, who plays off...
on the right.
Vieira, sorry.
Who plays both sides.
Yeah,
but he's predominantly right-footed, but he can come off. He can be coming off the left. The thing is, the way I see it is that we've got kind of 6 players who can pretty much play on wide positions. We're talking Martinelli, ESR, Vieira, Marquinhos, Saka, and possibly Raphinha. Now we have that. We've got everyone can interchange to a degree.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think with the games that we're going to play in this season, we're going to need those players. Because I tell you what, you can't rely on, even if we do get Jesus, to be getting, all the goals. These guys are going to need to contribute.
Just to get clarification, are you saying that Raphinha and Saka are going to be interchanging, and you're not going to see them in the same starting 11? Because you
can do, but I think I would say to get the best out of those 2 players, they'll be coming off from the right wing.
Okay, let me just clarify something. Bukayo Saka was on the left wing his whole entire career in the academies. Bukayo Saka came into the team as a left back and a left winger. Bukayo Saka's first 2 years at Arsenal, he played predominantly on the left. Just because he played last year, majority of the time, the entire season on the right, doesn't mean he's not going to be rotated. Also, the best players on the pitch is what we need. The most goals that we can get on the in the team is what we need. And if you're going to tell me that we're going to spend 70 million euros, 64 million pounds on Raphinha to be a rotation piece with Bukayo Saka, I think that's very, very naive. I think we are going to more. I think
I could counter that. One second.
Let me just finish off.
Okay.
I more or less think that right now Raphinha and Saka are better than Martinelli. Raphinha and Saka are better than ESR. Raphinha and Saka are currently better than Fabio Vieira. So you're going to find your best players on the pitch at the same time. And I've looked at the heat maps. Raphinha is going to be the one playing on the right. Saka is going to be the one out on the left. And if you look at the heat maps for his first 3 seasons, you can tell that he's just as effective on the left. He had the 3rd most assists in the Premier League as a youngster playing off the left. So I'm just saying he can produce on both sides.
But I hear what you're saying. Trust me.
Trust Tini on the left with him. If you watch it, the way he overlaps him, it's perfect.
But the thing is,
if you watched him this season, you'd see there was no overlapping run with Takahiro, and it's like, well, where's the overlapping run? Where's the overlapping run? It's like, yeah, he's left to get strangled by the defenders. You know what I mean? Because he cuts up and he thinks, well, I've got to put it onto my left. Yeah.
But wait, Cannon. Do you lot not remember how dangerous Robin and Duff were? Like,
yeah,
even though,
both those players. both those players, Robin would come off from the right, wouldn't he? And Duff would come off from the left. And then what would they do?
They would also.
What would they do?
Switch wings. They'd switch.
No, they wouldn't switch. They would cut inside.
Yes, they would. No, but like if you saw them playing that season, Robin would predominantly start on the left, and on the right. Sorry, and that's going to be the same way Raphinha is going to be played. But in the middle of the game, you'd see them switch wings to confuse the defenders and say, "Okay, let me have a go at this wing."
Yeah, that maybe can happen. But if you look at the thing is though, where is now Saka? Where is he playing now for both club and country?
He plays on the left
country.
He's playing left wing back. Left back.
No, he's not. No, he wasn't. For the game against Germany, etc. Where was he playing?
Also played on the left as well. That's the thing with Saka. He's very versatile.
He played on the left last game against Hungary. He played on the left
last game.
No, he didn't play off the left.
He did.
He played right back in the last England game, bro. What are you talking about? He did.
Against Hungary.
Yeah. Was it Hungary? Whoever they played last, he played on the left. Whoever they played last,
he did. I promise. Canners, I promised he did.
Comment section.
Okay. I'm gonna have to have a look at that again. But
trust me, bro. Trust me on this.
Okay.
Put your house on it. On the left-hand side, he'll be more fluid. Trust me on this.
The 4-0 loss to Hungary, Bukayo Saka played on the left in the front three with Jared Bowen and Kane. The game against Italy, Bukayo
Sorry. Okay, yes. In the game against Hungary, I agree. But the previous games...
The game against Germany, he played on the right because Sterling played on the left. The first game against Hungary, he didn't start. And then Ivory Coast, did he play against Ivory Coast? Against Ivory Coast, he didn't start. And then you go to Switzerland game, England-Switzerland. Did he play that game?
Football capital.
No, he didn't start that game either. So he's played 2 out of the last 5 games. He started 2 of them, and he's played on both wings.
Okay, if you want to go off the last 10 games for England, which majority of the games what position has he played for England?
No, but Canners, I hear what
I'm saying is that you can't...
Hold on. Do you reckon, this is a better question, do you think who's going to do a better job on the left, Saka or Martinelli?
I don't know.
Bro, come on, I
don't know. I don't know.
You do know.
Because something's taken from Saka's game, I feel, when he plays off the left.
I don't disagree.
What is it that's taken off of his game?
The fact that he can actually cut in and actually take shots.
He's
not an out-and-out winger. He's not an out-and-out winger.
Canners, my best example for you.
What is his dominant foot?
My best example for you is against Brentford and Newcastle with his goals. Against Brentford and Newcastle, it came up off the left. And he can. I think he actually prefers to strike the ball off from that left-hand side because he's not as predictable.
Goal, right?
When you're putting in on your right, you're only going to go for the far post. When you go cutting in from the left side into shooting positions, you can go far post, near post, and you open up the goal a lot better. And we saw it against Brentford and against Newcastle in those goals when he linked up with Tavares, when Thomas Partey played in the ball through. With Saka, we need to remember the boy's actually played as a number 8 as well.
Listen, he's as versatile as they come. But the thing is though, it's like there are, I think, in terms of percentages where he gets more consistent kind of 8s and 9s, whatever. I feel when he plays off the right. That's my opinion. Now the thing is as well, how Arteta wants to play, you got to remember that he has a play in mind and how the team works tactically, and that could be, and that I feel is, you have a left winger, a right-footed left winger, and a left-footed right winger. That's how he wants to play.
Okay,
I don't know, man. But the fact that he's in,
I looked at Bukayo Saka's numbers right now. For England, he played as a right winger, left midfielder, and a left back. He's played majority of his games that he's played in this calendar year has been on the left. When he was in the Euros and everything else, he did play on the right. I get that, but it has been a while. Also, the final point, when it comes down to it, Raphinha I've looked at his whole entire career, predominantly played on that right-hand flank, where Bukayo Saka, up until last season, was played on both or rotated or even predominantly played on the left. So this thing where Bukayo Saka is best on the right.
Saka played on the left.
Saka did play on the left. He played on
No,
the
no, no.
left.
You said predominantly played on the left.
Yes, he did. When he
Last
first came
year?
in, I'm not talking about last
came
year.
into the side.
I'm
When he
not
first
talking
came
about
into
last
the
year.
side.
Because if you're only speaking about, you're being nearsighted. You're not forgetting.
No. Listen. I'm talking about, for me, Saka went up another level, okay? And that's coming from the right. Him coming from the right, he's been a different player.
Let me bring some evidence to the table, because if you want,
I don't give me kind of like all pure stats and stuff. I go by eye test.
Hold on.
I'm going to give you
guys,
actual information.
One sec. Before we spend the whole show talking about Raphinha and Saka, one sec. Let me get into a couple of quick comments. And we'll resume this.
This Canner's bloke. Where'd you get him from? Where'd you get him from?
I don't know, bro. Drag him in. There's a ringer. Guy says, I don't miss Akpos' face, so big up Guy.
Big up Guy.
Big up Ilias in the comment section. This is a funny one. Football Values TV says Southgate choosing Saka on the left at the North Pole. Real talk. Any decision Southgate makes it doesn't count. I agree with that, man, because he's a nothing manager. Saka on the right, think pass first. Always takes extra pass. I just want him to think score first. And to be honest, what I would say to kind of close the Saka situation and move on to some of the other links we've got, I would say let's not forget what was the position that Saka was playing when he first got Arsenal fans excited.
Yeah.
That was on the left. Producing numbers, performances. We were talking about his combination with, first of all, I think there was one stage with crossing. Martinelli and him on the left when he played left back and Martinelli was ahead. Then we were talking about Tierney and him on the left. But I do agree, as a scoring threat, he has evolved on that right. Cannons is right. We can't like put that to the side. He has got better. But as I said, I believe the Duff Robin connection where they get to interchange from side to side, and from time to time, it allows us to maybe drop Raphinha for Europa League or drop Saka for a couple of games in the Premier League and give him some rest and let him recover, because he's played a lot of minutes for such a young age. But guys, I want to talk about
his goal and link up with Odegaard on the right for the goal against Watford.
I reckon it'll be just that as
his
good,
game against Watford. He was so silky. Yeah. His touch was just
I agree.
When we start talking formation, watch this.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah.
So guys, we're 30 minutes in, and we've just talked about Raphinha already. but
watch
quickly,
me convince you, Canners. What?
You can try, but all I'm saying is that I know what Arteta. Well, not that I know, but I'm.
You know Arteta, what he's thinking. I could be the only one. I don't think even he knows what he's thinking.
That's true.
No. Can I just mention one more thing? There's a fact that you're forgetting.
Last fact on Saka. Then we'll move on.
I'm just gonna wrap it up here. There's a factor you're forgetting with the leverage part. We have no leverage over this guy's contract. We have no leverage over the fact that he's playing week in, week out, and he might be tired and he needs some rest, rotation. We have nobody who actually is producing to the level of Bukayo Saka on that right flank. We have a lot of players producing on that left flank. So I get why you're saying he might be rotated. But in my opinion, the club are more or less looking at this for the bigger picture and not just where he's going to play on the pitch. It's more like we have a situation with Bukayo Saka where we have no control over his future. Bringing him in gives us a little bit more control. And that's another factor that we need to look at.
Massive point. Something I did want to talk about is a few people in the comments, I think on Twitter, the last couple of days have been laughing at our 70 million for Raphinha. When Leeds are bringing in his replacement, Gakpo, who's a cheaper option, who's more effective. Like, I want to ask someone, Akpos, like, what do you think about this Gakpo guy? And do you think he's a better, safer option for the cheaper price? But what do you think about him general as a player? Would you like him?
Well, I think I partly answered this question when we started the Raphinha discussion. But I just wanted to throw something out there. This one might be funny. With how much time we spent on this show, what if the Raphinha business does not get done? So we need to watch how much hope we are letting these owners install in us. So, but about the Gakpo,
we need to send a copy of this episode to the Arsenal owners, boy.
So they better don't ruin that part of the show. So, but
Exactly.
About the links with Gakpo, I think we should have learned our lesson with Nicolas Pepe, honestly. Because we've seen how Pepe coming in from a different league huge sign-on fee, different culture, different country, different a lot of different factors must have played into why his career at Arsenal might have not gone with the way the officials who scouted him thought it would go. So in my opinion, we don't need players with the level of young players we already have. We don't need another one for the future, another one with so much potential. We need somebody who's experienced that would walk into the team and will upgrade the quality we already have right now. With Gakpo do that for us? I don't know. We have younger players, so I think we need somebody who's already between that age where they are playing at their peak already or very close to their peak. And that's what a winger like Raphinha will bring to us instead of going for a younger, cheaper option.
Does everyone on the panel agree with that, or does anyone have anything different to say about Gakpo?
I'd have to agree with the man.
Like he's a quality player, but he's not ready to hit the Premier League running
it's
now.
too much of a gamble. We can't gamble. Arteta knows right now. This year.
This season.
This season is
it's
it?
Not gamble season now.
No, it's not gamble.
He's had his chances. He's had his chances, and so if he's going to be making moves now, he has to make moves for players that are going to fit into this squad. And I think, look, he's making the right moves. I think he's making the right moves with Premier League proven. You know what I mean? And the problem I have is for me, a lot of people will say, you know, you can go foreign, this and that. I want to go safe and go Premier League proven. What's wrong with that? Is there something wrong with going for players that are in the Premier League? Is there something wrong with English players? Like what's the go here? Exactly. Do I have to go overseas and get some player that because it sounds good? I mean, don't get me wrong, Gakpo could be great. I've only seen nibblies of him. He seems okay. He seems like a good player, but I don't know enough about him.
Yeah, Nicola Pepe looked like a great player. Looked like he could walk into Arsenal side.
Exactly. Everyone thought Pepe was worth the money at the time.
Exactly.
At the time, he was worth the money, but it didn't work out. That's unfortunate.
He was never worth the money. But like,
listen,
look,
I'm
Football
just gonna
Capital
say this
says.
quickly, bro. I'm just gonna say this quickly. If Gakpo was coming in and Raphinha wasn't coming in, we'd be talking about the pros of Gakpo coming in. So in my opinion, Gakpo is a great player. Let's see how he does at Leeds. But I like Raphinha's upside. Brazilian international, 25 years old, already in the Premier League. I like the upside. I think he can reach a lot higher of a level.
Like if this is a situation where Gakpo was playing for Leeds and Raphinha was playing elsewhere, I'd probably go for Gakpo because of the age and we could get him at a cheaper price. I like the fact that Raphinha is ready and proven for the Premier League. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I like about it. Although what Football Capital says... Sorry, just you can come in after Tereak. So Cody Gakpo's quality, Klopp wanted him last year. He walks into Arsenal. I don't think you have watched him play. And I'm not debating whether he could walk into this Arsenal side because I believe he, as an attacking threat, he'd probably be, for me, Martinelli doesn't give us a lot creatively for me. So I think he'd be better than Martinelli on the left. But he's not better than Raphinha. I don't know. What did you want to say, Tereak?
Yeah, I was going to say, if Gakpo proves himself and we need that position, then we can sign him from Leeds. This is how we need to be acting as a big boy right now. This is how.
Yeah. And that's what we should have done with Pepe. We should have let him go to another club first, have a couple more good years, and then bring him in, rather than one season wonder nonsense. But guys, there's a player that I never wanted to get too excited about, and the only way I will if I see a here we go from Fabrizio or something. But he's been linked with us again. He's a former Arsenal player who didn't really get a chance. You know I'm gonna say it, Canners. Gnabry, Serge Gnabry. I mean, bring the boy home. That's what we want. 25 people in the chat. Make sure you drop a like. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. But in terms of Gnabry, guys. Shouldn't we be going all out? They're talking about 35 million for the boy, and people are complaining, he's going to have ridiculous wages. Give the boy what he wants. He comes into our club as the best player at the club. What are you lot saying? Like, Igal, first of all, what are you saying about Gnabry? Don't you think we should be trying to go all out for him? Rather than spending 70 million?
I'm just going to be honest. Do I think the club should go for Gnabry? Yes. Will the club go for Gnabry? No. The issue is his wages. 1, 2. He wants to play Champions League football. This is a former Champions League winner. He's currently playing at Bayern. He's not going to step down to the Europa League at this moment in time. And I don't want him because of the mentality that we're hearing. We're hearing the guy doesn't have the mentality to fight for his place at Bayern. He doesn't have the mentality to do this, do that. And also his impact throughout the 90 minutes. From what I'm hearing, people are saying Coleman, who scores way less goals from Bayern, who does way less statistically for Bayern, is actually giving more of an impact throughout the 90 minutes. So after getting that impression of what people are saying, I've talked myself into saying Gnabry's not as glamorous as a signing as people think it is. And also, this is never really something that we were really linked to. This brings me the vibes of like, I don't know. It's one of those fan-led links where we never actually were in for the player. And it's just like similar to Basuma. We were interested in the player, but more the fans want him than the club. And it's like, it's just not going to happen, in my opinion.
Ozzy, do you agree with that? Do you think it's more the fans trying to push that and we can't get him? Or what do you think? Is there a chance?
I think it's all speculation. I think it's all chit chat. I think fans would like to see him back, but I think it's the media hyping it up. I honestly don't think there's anything behind it at all. I don't see it happening. No way.
Would you like it to happen though, over like a Raphinha? What you said?
No.
If the option came, really?
If I had an option, between Raphinha and him,
pick Raphinha.
Are you saying between the two players?
Raphinha's going to be hungry.
Between the two.
No. I'm going to pick Raphinha.
Yeah, Raphinha's going to be hungry.
Comment section. Let us know if you agree, Raphinha or Gnabry. What are you lot saying about that? That's an interesting one. Akpos, what are you saying about that? Raphinha or Gnabry? If you had to pick.
I would go with Raphinha, personally. I agree with Aussie Gooner and Igal on that one because I think it does not look like it will happen. We all love the comeback story where it's going to come back and it's going to hit the ground running and all of that, all the things that we missed, all the beautiful part that we've missed out on. We want to get some of that, but it does not look like it would happen. There are lots of off-field story that could bring for the club, but it does not look like it's going to happen.
Okay. And there is this that could happen. If he does stay at Bayern another year, he's gonna be on a free next season, and hopefully we'll be in the Champions
on a free.
League. So I'm saying, it changes the whole conversation.
I'll take you on a free.
Imagine going into next summer or qualifying for the Champions League. We got Raphinha, Saka, Jesus, and then there's an opportunity to get Gnabry on a free, bro. This squad's looking kind of sexy. More
wingers than midfielders.
Oh, mate, there's a lot that still needs to happen.
That's how football is, though. Nowadays, all your goals come from the wingers.
Yeah, I know, but fucking hell, you overload the wings like you won't believe.
Nah, I'll be mad, but some of the what's it called? Gnabry can play the false nine role as well. He can play through the middle. And I agree with what you guys are saying, and you know what, Igal, I'm gonna keep listening to what you said about him being not effective for 90 minutes. So I'm gonna keep telling me that story so I can wash that thought of Gnabry coming in out of my head, in it, because we all know it's not gonna happen, but it's something nice to talk about with a fan base.
Guys, we did this a lot. Remember the Joao Felix saga that we had?
Oh, that's crazy. That's never happening, man. I don't know why people entertain that one.
Yeah, so it's like we do this to ourselves all the time.
All the time, bro. All the time. But another player that we're linked with, before we go into how you think we're going to set up next season, is Lisandro Martinez. I heard the rumors were that they were asking for 50 million euros. Do you think he's worth it?
It's 45 million euros.
45. I was hearing 50 yesterday.
Yeah, he's rising up to 50, and then even some talks about 60 million.
They're going to say what they want to say, but realistically, they're going to sell one of him or Timber. And they are going to ask whatever price. Listen, we can ask 40 million for Tavares. Doesn't mean we're going to get 40 million for Nuno Tavares. Does it?
It's true, exactly.
So, in my opinion,
crazy.
We have asked for 40 million for Nuno Tavares. Atlanta said we'll take the option.
I know, I heard it.
Yeah. Anyways, they're going to try to protect their asset. The player can play 3 positions. He's the equivalent of buying 3 25 million pound players that can play DM, center back, or left back. So, in my opinion, if the club want to spend 45 million euros on another player to improve the squad, it just shows that we're serious. I don't care about the price. It's not my money. As long as we have enough money to go around and get every position we need, and you're going to spend 45 million on a player that can play as a utility piece, I don't mind it. But the reality is, if they think they're going to get 45 million for him, then we're going to have to try to negotiate. Edu, do your job.
with
sure.
Lisandro as well. Lisandro Martinez, like he gives us that balance back on that left side if Tierney gets injured, and then we're left with Tomiyasu picking up an injury as well. It's like when I talked to Arsenal fans a lot about this. I spoke about this with a gal. When Cedric initially came in, when we had Tierney, Cedric, and both fullbacks, he wasn't as bad as we first feared. He wasn't. Our defense didn't seem to lose a lot of balance. Of course, there's a drop off between Tomiyasu and Cedric, but it's when we lost Tierney and we was left with Tavares and Cedric, both forward-thinking fullbacks, leave a lot to be desired going the other way defensively. But what
that Man U game was scary to watch, bro.
Oh, exactly that. Yeah, they both got shredded to bits. Exactly, Nigel. I remember doing that one. Oh, it was disgusting. And then
you could feel the tension in the crowd of that game. You could feel every time Cedric said, "Get rid of it! Get rid of it!"
Just a little update from Fabrizio. Arsenal have had contact with the agent of Lisandro Martinez in the last 24 to 48 hours.
There we go. That's good. But now we need to do our negotiations with Ajax as well.
Get the job done.
But with Lisandro, that's what I'm saying. He brings that balance back again. We know our fullbacks, our first choice, are injury prone. So that's, and also we could potentially see if Lisandro's playing at left back, being a backup option there. Brooknut and Coffey getting a chance because he's very much a forward thinking fullback as well. And he's right, very energetic, a little bit like Nuno Tavares, an athlete, very powerful runner, impressed in his short spell at Lincoln. So we'll have to see how that one goes. But Lisandro, people, I really rate Gabriel. I do think he's a top. I think he's got the materials to be one of the best centre backs in the world one day. But my problem with Gabriel, his passing ability leaves a lot to be desired in my eyes.
Yeah, for sure.
And he has when he has
some
a
of his
bad
passes
game,
puts us in trouble sometimes.
Yeah. And when he has a bad game, he's awful. And you know when we sort of get against Crystal Palace. In that moment there, that's the one that springs to mind. But with Lisandro Martinez, that's his game. He's a playmaker from deep. That's why Ajax, he was their player of the season. With all the players that they've had with their Mazraouis, Gravenberch, Anthony's, Halles, he was their player of the season for a reason. And he gives us another option at centre back, and in certain games, of course, if we're playing up against like a very physical side, I wouldn't want to be trusting Lisandro Martinez and a Benjamin White at the back.
Right?
But that's when you've got a Gabriel and a William Saliba who certainly do have that frame. And if we're trying to become a top side, people, we need to be getting players like this and improving in each position.
Right? And DWT says Lisandro helps with the depth we need in defense, midfield, and if needed, he can start games because he's not coming in as a starter, but he's good enough to start. It's one of those situations which helps. We aren't bringing in 10 players, which we probably need a lot of players in the squad. I feel we need to compete with the squad. Also, Football Value says Lisandro has a market value of 29 mil or so. 40 or 50 is okay to be a maximum. I don't know about that. I think that's quite pricey, man. I'm thinking 40 million is more coming from the area of Adiza as well, man. We have to get a midfielder though. We can't forget about that. Vieira's not the type we are calling out for right now, and that is true. We have to add, if we get Lisandro Martinez, I don't know if you guys agree, we have to get Tielemans as well. But it's not even a maybe.
Tielemans will happen.
That's a non-negotiable.
You guys are really confident,
That's a lot of money. That's a lot. I'm counting a little bit of the dollars here. I don't know how much we got to spend, but bloody hell, Raphinha, Tielemans, Martinez, me, you. I mean,
we're going to spend 200, bro.
Yeah, 200. Tielemans and Raphinha will be 100 mil.
Well, Football Capital saying, look, there are better left backs out there. Nuno Tavares. How about we give him? You know what? Let's do a deal.
Yeah,
we'll give him Nuno Tavares.
I don't mind that. On loan. Send him on loan because I still think Tavares can actually progress as a player.
No, I'll make that shit permanent.
Nah. I definitely, let's not be too harsh because when he has as Tereak was saying, when he has a more defensive-minded right back on the opposite side, he does look better. Yeah. Plus, I like that he's fearless. Hold on. I like that he's fearless, a little bit too fearless, which got him in a hell of a lot of trouble last season. But if we send him on loan for a season, I reckon Serie A is a great move for him to improve his defensive quality.
Serie A, he's gonna get killed. Dude,
Bro.
This guy was running into the midfield like he was a number 10. Don't give me this shit.
Bro,
I watched him running in front of Odegaard.
Bro, I wasn't the one, but there was some Arsenal fans, Canners knows who they are, that were saying at one stage of the season that
he was.
whether you play Tavares or Tierney on the left, it's the same quality. I'm never going to say that out of my mouth.
No, look, Tavares started off the season very well.
To say that means there is some quality in him. Do you get me?
It's hindsight. You see, Tavares started off very well, but by the end of it, we saw that he can't defend. And now that we know that he can't defend, unless he's going to play left wing, I don't think we put him in as a left back.
I hear you. For now, I don't want to see him as a left back next season. But guys,
as you said, with
sorry.
Tommy Asu on that side, he looked way better because he had that protection. And when Xhaka was slotting in that defensive left side at that point in time as well. So he's not the worst, but I hear what Ozzy's saying. He's still. We got
to shift all these players to make him look good, bro.
Let me ask you guys a silly question. Could this be the best ever transfer window ever for Arsenal if we pull off all the deals?
If we do pull them off, then it's up there, bro. Like,
see, you go. This is when we start talking like this. It falls apart.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? I'm not ready to commit because that's when they start clipping us for social media and memes and that.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
For me, the transfer window would be for me Jesus, Raphinha, Martinez, Tielemans, and Aaron Hickey from Bologna. If we get those in, those 5 players, that comes up to about what 180 mil.
I don't think we'll get Hickey. If we get those.
If we get Martinez, we don't get Hickey, bro.
No, we don't get Hickey. There's no point.
Yeah, I think Martinez will probably also cover full midfield as well. It's said. Centre back, I think we're stocked. We're fine with Saliba coming back. It is either flank of the full backs is where we might have a problem, and Hickey can actually play both.
Right.
He can play both left and right. 100. What Jesus 50, Raphinha will be 50 straight down, plus with 20 mil of add-ons, so that's 100 mil there. Martinez 35. Then you got Tielemans 30, and then Hickey at 20. Listen, man, we can get that done. If we got the 200 mil in our pocket, then bro, we're quitting still.
Just like DWTT said, Aussie Gooner, no worries. Stan left his black card on the table. You get me? Arteta's had it since his trip to the States, bro. Don't worry.
Which table was that, bro? Because I'm going over.
But yeah, what's happening with these links, guys? I don't know, you guys, have you heard any more about this? What's happening?
I was never wild with him.
You know, that went dead.
I'll tell you right now,
Zinchenko's
not happening, bro. Zinchenko's not happening.
Is he staying at City or is he going to go elsewhere? What do you lot reckon?
Zinchenko is not going to come to Arsenal to sit on the bench. Basically, he's going to go to West Ham if he's going to start. He's going to go somewhere if he's going to start. But he's not going to move from City to sit on the bench at another club. That's just the reality.
That does make a lot of sense. But guys, if you look at the play, like just to move on to, if you look at the players that we've been linked with, a lot of them can play in multiple positions. Like if you look at the players that we're interested in, bringing in a Vieira as well, and the signings that we're looking to make. Do you think the reason why we have so much variety is it for cover, or do you think Arteta has some other ideas when it comes to formations and how the team's going to set up next season? I don't know, Akpos, if you want to lead that. Do you see us doing some different things, or do you think we're going to stick to that 4-3-3?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the plan he's got up his sleeve right now, but definitely that's what we're going to be paying him a lot of money for. I think we as fans, we should be worried about who's going to come in, how he's going to utilize them. Should be his own ethic. He should be thinking about that, because whichever player might be, we will be linked to now or making move for. There must have been a plan on how he wants to utilize these players, or how those players would give us the result which we are craving for. Because what we want to see at the end of the day is to get the result done. Is for this team to be winning football games, and also for us to be able to compete when we are playing against the top sides, because that's one of my worries in the last couple of years. We've not really we've not been very competitive when we were playing against the likes of Liverpool, the likes of Manchester City. We want to see us getting points out of some of those games. That's what we want to see. Until we are able to do that, that's when we know that whatever players they've brought in has improved the team, and we are seeing progress. We are making progress.
100%. And I was watching Egal's channel yesterday, and in terms of that stuff that you talk about, cities and the Liverpool, there's like a stat guy on this channel talking about the type of left back that Martinez is, because against the City,
guys, my wife just walked through the house.
It's all good, man. You know they do that.
They always do that, innit? So it's right, man.
Yeah, she knocked on the window and it's like, open the window so I can come through the window. I'm like, what? Go through the front door. Why'd you do that?
Okay,
She's trying to be famous, man.
He's trying to make a one-touch TV debut, bro. Gets by that sometimes.
There you go. She's wearing a hijab too, so she's ready.
Big up. What's it? What was I saying? He's distracted
about Martinez
with that window.
I got you flustered.
He did jump through windows and shit.
So,
transfer windows, the gals' windows. We love it.
Every window, man. Silly season galore.
Bro, you should have seen me. I was in Dubai doing transfer updates. It was mad. Vlahovic had me going crazy.
I saw it, bro. Guys, in terms of Martinez, he's more of a he's not the bombing forward type of left back. So against a City or a Liverpool, we could play him in that sort of role, and a Tomiyasu where they're gonna sit back. But maybe against a team that will give us a bit more of the ball, we could go for, I don't want to say the other guy's name, but Tierney and maybe another right back. Do you get what I'm saying? But Canners, do you see us setting up different? Maybe we'll see some of the 3-4-3 next season, or maybe start 2 up front at times, 3-5-2.
I just have a feeling
because we saw 4-4-2 this season.
We played 4-4-1-1.
I think he has his formation. He has the way he wants to play. I just think for now, this season, it's about him having those players that that can facilitate his tactics. I really do think we'll be doing a 4-3-3 or kind of variation of that, but that will predominantly be what we'll be playing. Flat back 4, and then it could be a little bit different, but predominantly like a 3 in midfield and throughout top. That right now is the way him and Pep have kind of played, and it's just a question now. The signing, like what he's made with Vieira, is very much like a Bernardo Silva kind of, as he's that type of player. You can just tell the way he wants to be press resistant, and Vieira is very press resistant. He can obviously not in the levels of Cazorla, but do you know what I'm saying? He's comfortable, very comfortable, and that's the way Arteta is looking to play.
One of my boys talking some shit. Canners is trying to fucking spit some fucking things, and I got one of my boys chatting shit. Fucking trolls, mate.
All the smoke today.
Yeah.
I
caught a wind of that, and you put me off track there for a second. I was like, what?
Fucking mate, United's fucking transfer window's like a flat tire, and this guy's fucking coming at me with this.
Well, football capital. You think Man U are going to reach a final next season?
He's taking a dig, bro.
Listen, all players are dodging them at the moment. All players are saying, no, I'll go Palace, mate. I'll go Palace.
You never can tell, eh? I swear, lot you never fucking can tell.
Bro, players are refusing, tripling their wages to go United. Saying, nah, man, I'm not on that.
I'll triple the wages. I'll just be fucking undercover fucking Aussie Gooner. I'll do some fucking hectic shit,
Like, in terms of what Canners was saying, I do kind of agree that Arteta does know his style, but with the options we have,
Tariq, it might be the odd game, but the games that we should win. Or on paper where he might
it'll be
against your being away at Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, we might kind of go that little bit defensive. However, I'd feel at home against your lesser teams, the so-called lesser teams. Yeah, exactly. Where we would try as much to be as creative, have the most creative players as possible, and try and obviously go for the win. But yeah, maybe I would like to actually see Arteta change up a little bit for those games away from home against those top teams, rather than just kind of doing the Arsene Wenger, well, it's the same pitch, it's 11 against 11, just go for it?
That's the difference with Arteta, you see. With Arteta, I think he's very much in that Pep mold where Pep picks a side that's very game specific, and that's depending on what opposition he's coming up against in terms of their strengths and weaknesses. So if we're coming up against like a Crystal Palace or, you know, Pep as well, he changed. When he's coming up against a Crystal Palace, he'll play certain players for a game against Liverpool because, of course, they're going to give you different options, different opponents, and different strengths and weaknesses. And, you know, say, for example, we're coming up against someone who's their main threat is on the right wing. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Tierney's very good 1v1 defensively. But, you know, say if we got a game where we're going to need Tierney to overlap, as Aussie's saying, up against with Saka, Martinez can come in that position, and then we can play someone. We can play Tomiyasu or someone at right back who's a bit more expansive. That will give us a different option. And then the same goes in midfield as well against a side where we're going to be dominating possession. Then you might see a Vieira and an Ødegaard if we're coming up against a low block team where we're going to be very high up the pitch. Partey in the middle. Martinez in the back as well because he's a very front foot defender, which will allow us to keep a high line. Those are this fluidity is what we're going to need, and that's why Tielemans is important because he's a bit more of a proper number 8 box to box midfielder that gives you a balance going forward and defensively as well. Who sitting with Partey a little bit, but then you've also got a Granit Xhaka. I know a lot of people don't like him for obvious reasons, but he gives you aggression and in that midfield. So if you need a bit more physicality in there, he can provide that. I really like the way Arsenal's going, and Trips has said it right there. Arteta is going for versatility, and that's what we want. That Pep mindset, because Liverpool's a bit different. They overpower teams no matter what. They go full throttle at it, whereas it's a bit more of a methodical approach that Pep goes with, and that's probably why Pep. Well, it's not probably why. It's the reason why they've won the amount of leagues that they have, and Liverpool only have one, and why we've seen an injury crisis seriously affect Liverpool at points because they do go full throttle. They don't take their foot off the gas in those senses, and that's what is going to be amazing. And this is why it's exciting. And as Igal said, it could be potentially our best transfer window, but we need to get those signings through the door first. And Arteta's got a point to prove. If it don't work from there, if he doesn't get us set up right, then I think we can, every single one of us agree, we need to look elsewhere.
I think that's very true. But I mean, Arteta with Tielemans, with Raphinha, and with Jesus, it opens up the door. We played 4-2-3-1 before. We've played 4-2-3 on most of the season. So now we can actually play a proper 4-3-3. We can play a 4-3-3 with a triangle with 2 players up front. We can have Ødegaard and Tielemans side by side and leave Thomas Partey as an anchor, or vice versa. We can put Tielemans and Partey in the midfield and leave Ødegaard up front in a 4-3-3, or we can go back to a 4-2-3-1. It allows a lot of versatility. It allows for a lot of a shape change, and everyone's crying for that 4-3-3, the classic 4-3-3, and not that shift back to a 4-2-3-1 and this and that, which can be played with these players. I think the good thing about it is because we'll have larger squad depth, when we do get injuries, we're going to go into a shape. We will fall into a shape that won't be a 4-1-4-1 where it's bullshit, or a 4-4-1-1, which never worked anyway. You know what I mean? It'll be a formation that does work, that can still be effective, and we can sort of band-aid, for the next couple of games just to keep us going. I think squad depth is key. And to be perfectly honest, with a midfielder like Tielemans in there, and of course I'm saying Xhaka at the same time, yes, I know he's shit. I know he's been a headache, but off the bench, it gives you depth. You don't get rid of him.
You think we're keeping him? You think we're keeping Xhaka?
Yeah. I don't think he's not going anywhere. Look, the whole point of this was for us to create a squad that was big enough to compete Europa League, Premier League. Look, last season we had the Premier League, and what we struggled there with injuries. And we're going to sell players now. No, you want to sell the players you can't see. You got Reece Nelson, you've got Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and Pepe. I would love to have seen him, but for some reason it's against Arteta's friggin' religion to start him, so he has to go too. You know what I mean? So I think in our midfield, I know Xhaka hasn't kept everyone happy, but we have to keep him for now. Mohamed El Neni can do a shift. You know what I mean? Thomas
You
Partey.
need those type of players there, and then you need them there.
Yeah,
because he's not going to complain no matter how many minutes you give him. He's just happy to be at the club.
That bloke. I mean, for vibes, he's all smiles. He's always smiling. So
he's the perfect
for vibes.
player,
You got to keep on only for vibes.
Just one more thing, just to add on that. The best teams have the best teams in, Manchester United, even these cities. They had a Fabian Delph, Nathan Ake. They chipped in for a few games.
United had squads, bro, too, man. They had massive.
United, they had John O'Shea's and them, man.
Yeah, we had Pascal Segan.
Quality.
Philip Sendros. Audacity to say this: Jack of all trades, master of none, and you need all of them in your squad. Though at the end of the day, if you're gonna try and troll, you like the players you named, the O'Shea's, the Milners, the players that can fill in different positions, bring some experience, a cool head, big game players. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we need those options. So
I think Mikel Arteta has realized that next season there's going to be 5 substitutes, unlike some managers. Some managers haven't realized that there's going to be 5 substitutes next season. And you look at their squads and they're losing players. They're not fixing the squad depth issues. Like last year, we would have looked at Chelsea, said, "Yo, they got an amazing squad,
great squad." Yeah, they've added Mr. 100 million Lukaku.
You look wait a minute. The new rule is that you can have 9 subs, but 5 of them you can use, right?
Yeah.
That's a game changer. That is a massive.
And also, you know what that now does? That now puts more academy. That now gives you more opportunity for academy players. That now gives you more opportunity in everything. And it's only in the Premier League, or is it also in the Europa League? If I'm not mistaken.
Europa League,
Europa League as well. Yeah.
So imagine we will have 9 guys on the bench in the Europa League, and some of them will be like academy players who never played. So we're going to give a lot more opportunities to players. We're going to use our academy more. We're going to have more rotation. And we're going to have a lot more James Milners in the team and less, I don't know what to say. Who? Lacazette?
You miss him. You miss him, Igor. You miss him.
I miss Lacazette.
Man.
Yeah, bro.
You know what? He's a nice guy, but as a footballer, he completely diminished like his skill set and finishing.
Bro, he went from a free-flowing, scoring number 9 to some Nashville player, like using his bum to play.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets it back in France, but his finishing was amazing. What the hell? How do you lose your finishing?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. But let me get into a couple of comments.
How do you lose instinct?
Before we go into
that's like me.
The final part of the show.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We signed 2 plays we had to Google.
Yeah.
2 on Google.
Right,
not 1. Get it right.
Hey, we had to Google Martinelli at one stage.
Exactly.
To be fair, they're going to have to Google every player they're signing except for Frankie de Jong.
Exactly. Real talk. And Christian Eriksen, maybe. I don't think we are signing Tielemans. Mr. 140.
Don't say that.
Be more.
Don't say that, man.
No, Tielemans one will go. The season will start. He won't be with us.
That's it, Canners. That's it. You hit the nail on the head.
Brother, you're right. Something stupid like that can happen. That'll be an Arsenal-like signing just before the window closes.
Deadline day.
After playing 1 game for Leicester to start the season. Yeah, you're right. That sounds like an Arsenal deal. Right?
And then playing shit so they drop points.
That's the end of window signing, Tielemans.
We've got Leicester as well. Agent Tielemans.
Yeah.
Game of the season.
It's in his contract. He gets a bonus if he plays shit there, right?
You know what? Against us at the Emirates as well, he didn't play and he looked pissed off. If you saw him, he was just running down on the side. He looked pissed off to the max.
My theory is, if we get rid of Xhaka, we're getting him. If we don't get rid of Xhaka, it might be difficult to get him in.
I don't think we're.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
No, I don't. I'm pretty sure that we've got to get a midfielder because the drop off. If Xhaka or Partey get injured, we can't be left again with
Xhaka's not quick enough on the ball, bro.
In midfield.
He's not quick enough on the ball,
but
man.
if we get rid of Xhaka and bring in Tielemans,
Rage E54 says Xhaka's staying, bro. Like, I
he's staying.
But if we did 1 in 1 out, we still need another midfielder because we're still light. Would be light there. Yeah. Like, if Tielemans got injured, then what are we doing then?
Exactly.
Fuck, mate. Meltdown if Tielemans gets fucking injured, then we got to go back to Xhaka.
Real talk. But guys, before we go into the final part, I just want to hear what you guys, with the players we're linked with in the transfer window, what's your preferred starting 11 going into next season. We'll probably do this again before the season starts. But as of now, with the players we're linked with, first of all, Aussie Gooner, kick it off. Like, who would you like to see as our starting 11? Probably 14.
Convert Hannes. That's what you need.
Look, it's definitely gonna be. Well, it's got to be Ramsdale in goal because it's not gonna be that American.
Yeah, Ramsdale in goal for sure.
It's got to be Tommy on the right. I hate to say it. I know everyone's going to say Saliba, but I haven't seen him in the Premier League, so I'm not going to gamble on him. Unfortunately, I have to start Ben White.
I'm not mad at you for that. I'm not mad at you for that.
You know, he could be, if he's great, fuck Ben White. Gabriel beside him, Kieran Tierney on the left, Yuri Tielemans, Thomas Partey, and Odegaard in the midfield. To be honest, I'd like Partey to sit back as an anchor, and I want Odegaard and I want Tielemans up front in like a triangle formation as a 4-3-3. Yeah. I want Raphinha on the right. I want Jesus in the middle. I want Saka on the left. You give me that, and we're going to be attacking the shit out of people and getting goals.
Yo, I got a graphic for you.
Give me graphics. Is it a good one? Because last time Nigel threw me a graphic, it was fucked up, man. he's got a real dirty mind, that bloke. I've got a graphic for you.
Bro, I thought I was going to escape the whole show without you bringing it up, man. Big up.
Let the cat out of the bag in that,
if
man.
You can share the image that I showed.
I'm not very technically gifted, so I don't know how that happens.
The same way you add us into the stream.
Yeah. You just click add for another thing for a gal.
Egal's going to give us a virus. The whole thing's going to go to shit.
There you go. So that's kind of what I would think the lineup would look like.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
It's very nice. How much?
I think it's just going to be one debate, isn't it? That left wing position.
It ain't debatable, mate. This ain't a democracy, mate.
in the comment section, let us know if you have anything different.
That for me is
you have anything different.
You like it.
No, that at all.
Go on, Canners. Let's hear yours, and then I'll give mine.
The only one. Okay, I'm just going to give my. See, it's a toss up between Saka and Raphinha for me. I'll probably put Raphinha as a right winger. I put Martinez as left winger, and the reason being, right, because for me, when Liverpool played at the Emirates, right, the biggest compliment that Liverpool played us was putting two men all the time as soon as Martinelli got the ball.
Wait, did you just say you're going to bench Saka? Is that what you're saying right now?
I'm benching Saka, man.
Not going to happen.
It's tough. It's tough. But to me, they didn't double up on Saka. They doubled on Martinelli. Now that tells you, for me, that tells you something of what someone like Klopp and a big team like Liverpool means and how they respect Martinelli.
No, that just says that Trent can't defend too well and he needs help. That's what it says.
It's a good point.
Maybe.
A good point.
Maybe. But in that game against Liverpool, he was magnificent. And to me, it was. Listen, if he can produce that more and more frequently, he's going to be something else. I just think this guy has got levels to go.
Look, Candace, I think Martinelli's going to move into a 9 role. I honestly see him as a 9.
I think he has to. He has to.
Also,
he would be a mad number 9.
Also, Canners, unfortunately, he roasted him to bits. You are correct. And what did we have to show for that?
No.
Whereas, is there an echo? Can you hear an echo?
Yeah, I can hear an echo.
Yeah, who's that coming from?
Let me go on mute.
I don't know who it is. It might be Candace. Yeah. No, I can still hear it.
Give me a sec.
Yeah, it's you, Aussie Gooner.
I think it's Aussie. Yeah.
No,
it's still here. It's not you, Aussie.
Oh, it's not Aussie. Wait.
Eagle, that virus.
Yeah, that graphics
match. Oh shit, it is African.
Oh yeah.
Who the heck is African? Who's called African here, bro?
Who's called African, bro?
Guy Englishman in the building.
But this is it, and this is what we're kind of getting to. Kind of like you can play a Martinelli up against a Trent, and then you can also play a Saka against someone who's not like.
Listen, I can't be. Such is for me the competition and the quality of those players, I won't be mad either way.
Yeah. But,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Niger, bring up that 11 again, because that's actually like the first 11 that I'd go for.
You like that 11?
Yeah, because
it's pretty, isn't it? It's so pretty
about it. Yeah, I want to break it down. I want to. Have you got it back up, Miguel? Because I need to go through it. Listen,
it's pretty.
That's thick.
Think about it. Yeah, that back four, you could change like 3 of those pieces, and you'd be all right. You could have a Martinez in there, in for a Tini or Gabriel. You could have a Saliba in there, in for a Benjamin White. And that's adding something else and adding a different factor. You could even play Saliba right back. And then
you can also change Odegaard for ESR or Vieira.
You could do exactly that. But I'm looking at Partey as that anchor. He's the one that needs to play every game in the Prem, that I'd say, for us to be, if we're cruising 2-0 up, then you bring on a Sambi Lokonga, and that's what that 5 substitutions does, so we can protect him, wrap him up in cotton wool. Like, you look at Liverpool, and Man City, Rodri and Fabinho, they play all games where they're fit and possible. So that's why I'm a bit in the other sense. I know this is a whole different topic and debate in itself. We don't need someone who's going to compete with a Thomas Partey in that role. In that sense, idealistically, I'm sure we all would. I'm sure Liverpool would have loved the Bissouma and Man City, and that's why they're going for Calvin Phillips. But it's all about.
But Liverpool got Fabinho, and he plays.
Yeah, Fabinho.
Even Fabinho misses a few games. We don't think of that because Henderson does a good job when he drops into that 6 because they've got such a balanced side overall. But with Tielemans, he's going to be our Gundogan. He's going to be the one arriving late into the box. That with that finishing ability that he has, taking up big moments, that's the improvement we don't have with Xhaka. Xhaka's not a goal-scoring midfielder. Whereas Tielemans, he's got the ability to pop up with a goal or 2 at least.
So that formation changes as well if Partey gets injured. So if that formation can change where instead of having Tielemans and Odegaard up front, you now go 2 in the back and put Odegaard in the centre by himself. And the 2 that are side by side now is Tielemans, and you can put El Neni beside him. And now you've got a little bit more of a solid midfield with Odegaard further forward. That's why this formation it's so adaptable with the players we got. I mean, and he can still play 4-2-3-1 if you play too much.
Man, this team looks so good, and it's so achievable. It's so achievable.
Bro, it is.
We can smell it. We can smell this team, man.
And Canners, you've got Saliba competing with Benjamin White. You can have Martinez there. Vieira's like, yo, when am I getting game time? And then you've got Martinelli, ESR, and then our new number 14, whatever you may think about him. 10 goals he's getting at minimum this season, guys.
All right, I hope you're right. 10 Premier League goals this season will be great for Eddie. I'm not gonna be mad at that.
Can I say one thing?
I'm getting gas, man. Sorry.
I am too, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, but
we could have a situation where 6 players get double digits. We're like a city. We could get 60 goals from 6 players.
Don't try to get excited.
I'm just saying that's a very fluid lineup. I'm sorry.
It is not an unrealistic target. It is not an unrealistic target.
Akpos, are you hearing these people?
I'm not going to go there.
Listen, you can wheel off those players that you know will get 10.
Let me.
I'll be disappointed.
I did this yesterday. You got Martinelli potentially 10 goals, ESR 10 goals, Saka between 13 to 15, Raphinha between 13 to 15, Gabriel Jesus between 15 to 20 all comps potentially, and then you have Eddie Nketiah between 10 to 12. So with that, you have a minimum.
I'm not jumping that high.
You have a minimum of 70 goals.
That's very.
You know what? That's being conservative.
Conservative.
No. What I'm saying is, listen. With those players getting like 10 goals, I'm saying those numbers are conservative. With those players just getting 10 goals, I'm just saying with the creativity that we have, I think we're being conservative with those numbers. So that's a good thing. There's more in them. There's more than 10 goals in. Listen, if ESR got 10 goals last year, 10, or was it 10 or 12?
Loosen up that hat, bro, because it's got you. I don't know about that.
No,
What you telling me that those players can't get more than 10 goals?
Canners,
That's
what you're saying,
said, bro. That's conservative, is what you said, Canners.
No,
No. I'm saying those numbers where that Egal just said for me is conservative, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I know, but I don't even think that.
Went 15, 20 goals for Gabriel Jesus. 13,
Exactly, that's where I'm with it.
Raphinha. That's if we're saying 10 goals, that's
I think that's peak. I would say peak.
Yeah.
What for Jesus to get 20 goals?
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
Yes.
How
many goals did you get for City?
Guys,
got
how about
8.
this? I will be conservative. Eddie
Yeah.
Nketiah gets 10 goals. Jesus gets 15 goals. Saka gets 12 goals. Raphinha gets 13 goals. ESR gets 10. Martinelli gets 10. That's 70 goals.
That's conservative. Yeah.
No, I don't think you're being generous either with the other numbers. I really don't.
You just want to see goals, Canners. You want to see 101 goals.
Listen, man. I need the days back of Will Todd, Carney, Bergkamp. I need those numbers back.
This guy wants Armoury and Bergkamp.
Robert Perez's. I need those numbers back.
Saint has put it best.
Man's here singing, I need your love.
And now
Oh shit!
Is that about Nketiah?
Yeah, man.
Nketiah scored 5 and 8. 5 and 8 start.
Listen, if Nketiah scored getting those kind of numbers, what's Jesus gonna get?
Bruv, if Nketiah gets 10 plus, then bruv, we're laughing, bruv. That means our
guys, Nketiah will get.
That means we can sell him for something good.
Listen, Nketiah in the cup games alone will get 10 plus goals.
I'm with Egal on this.
I'm talking about Prem goals. I'm talking about Prem goals. I'm
talking Prem.
No, but I'm talking about all competition.
He's a domestic trophy scorer. He does that.
Bro, he's Mbappe when it comes to the Carabao Cup. That's what he is.
Hey yo, we need to do a challenge. You know what I'm saying? Egal, me and you ride out for this one. Eddie Nketiah is getting 10 plus Premier League goals. Yeah,
you're ready to put yourself on the line like that. Live on One Touch TV.
If not, how you with spicy food, Egal?
Bro, I could eat spicy food all day. That's not gonna hurt me.
Okay then.
You got to come with something better than that, bro.
We'll do it before the season.
I used to eat potatoes with spice at like 7 years old, bro. I'm good.
All right, me and Egal will shave each other. We'll shave our eyebrows. There you go.
Oh,
listen, I'm not involved in this, bro.
No.
Jeez.
I'm shaving the
No. Just shave one eyebrow, because then you got
one eyebrow. How about this? No, not shave it. No, you wax it.
Wax.
Alright, guys,
you wax that shit.
Hold on, guys. We're gonna wrap up in a bit. I'm gonna get.
You're getting my wife involved. What's wrong with you guys?
I'm gonna get some of the comments.
She just said wax. Yeah, I'll do that.
Terrence Tim says Xhaka, Partey, Oneni, Vieira, Lokonga, decent. Maybe one more. We definitely need one more.
One more is Tielemans. The Tielemans right at the start.
One more in the mix. And Martinez can play as a DM. Martinelli, Jesus, and Raphinha.
My guy.
I don't agree with that, but big up Mr 142. Maddison for 60 mil was way too much. Okay. I don't know what that's in relation to.
I think that's in hindsight, I would say. Because now we've got Odegaard for 30 mil.
30 mil for Odegaard, yeah, I agree. Saliba is better than Ben White at almost everything. Ooh, what do you guys think about that one?
We're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, we got to see, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big up, Saint.
If he is, I'm happy.
That's my starting 11 that he agrees with you, Egal. I think we're pretty much everyone.
Egal, that's my 11. That's my 11.
Everyone else agrees with that. Tierney is injured 70% of the time. He'll be in the, yeah, for sure. We have Martinez as the replacement for Tierney.
Yeah.
Hopefully. We don't have him yet.
Yeah.
It's thinking that we've got Martinez as a substitute. That's what I'm thinking. That's why that lineup. If I didn't think that was going to happen, shit would change.
Thanks says this. Akpos, what do you think about this? Just like Akpos was saying, actually, Saka needs benching. The over usage of him is criminal. You're going to.
That's right. But if he plays on the left,
I agree.
He's 20, man. The kid is 20.
Can come in on the left.
He played at 20 already, bro. Relax.
Too much.
And also, will Tierney get as injured as much because we're not going to heavily rely upon him? Do you know what I mean? We have to think about those things as well.
Guys, this is why I'm muted.
Oh my gosh, what's he done?
Just
You
Is
forgot
that your lunch?
Big up.
What the hell are you doing?
Hey.
She's coming at you with the wax.
Now she's coming at me with
Already.
the wax.
She's just going, fuck this, he's lost.
So we also
Yo,
do
this stream's gone to
UFC on
shit.
One
I'm
Touch
sorry.
TV, guys. Not just football chat. We got mixed martial arts going on in the background. Guys out there. Mr 142 says Arteta still needs to prove he can rotate players. It is true, because have you noticed that he's Arteta, as much as I'm Arteta in, have you not noticed that he's scared to change a winning foot in terms of if he
Hold on, you're Arteta in? Since when?
I've always been Arteta in, bro. But my expectations of him are just different to you guys, isn't it? I'm Arteta in. My expectations of him are just different to you guys.
In all fairness,
You
Mr.
have Arteta out
and
tendencies.
But
No, I
I
criticize him when he's wrong and I praise him when he's right. That's all. No,
in all fairness, who's he had to rotate with? People, come on.
No, but you know, there's times where you
Pepe.
know that we need to change the lineup. There's times where we could have brought in Pepe and Saka could have got a rest. There's games that we could have done a bit more rotation. And I believe he always started Odegaard and ESR together rather than either or. I think that was a mistake too.
Yeah, we've spoken about ESR.
Exactly. But
Well, and that was a fact. Like, you know, what's happening with ESR? We'll substitute him from time to time. We'll get in there. We'll get him in there. We haven't forgot him. It's all love.
Let's remember we started Pepe at the start of the season, and how did that work?
Nah, but it's not about that. I'm talking about there's times where he could have rotated and given players rest, and maybe games that we'd already been 2 goals ahead, we make a change or. But there was times where we could have rotated better than we did. I believe 100%, man. Saka played 38 out of 38 games, bro. That's madness. Like, that's absolute madness.
Yeah.
As much as he carries
20.
us. Yeah. Okay, how many 20-year-olds are playing 38 games back like a season, bro? After playing a
Trent Alexander-Arnold was doing that type of madness. The world-class... you don't tell me Mbappe and Haaland ain't going to be doing them thing there.
Yeah,
bro. If you're that talented,
no, but you can't. Those guys are beasts. They're out the ordinary. They're out. Them two are out the ordinary. I mean, like
exactly.
Those kind of numbers, man, is ridiculous for someone that young to be getting the hits that he gets.
Yeah, Mbappe and them
week in, week out.
Yeah, he's not Mbappe level.
But our fan base don't appreciate anybody. I see people get onto Martinelli, ESR, even some people getting onto Saka. So when it comes down to it, these are young players. We have to wait and see how they perform next season because the consistency levels might not be there. Have some patience.
Okay, talking about next season to wrap up the show, guys. It's been a great stream so far, guys. I want to go around the room and ask you guys one by one. There was as much as 40 people in the comments at one stage, guys. Let's get the likes up. Everyone, if you've not liked already, make sure you like now. And make sure you follow all the people that are on the panel. I'll make sure all their details are in the description of this video. But guys, in terms of next season, I want to talk about players that are already at the club right now. Not players that we think might be coming in, but players that are at the club right now. Who do you think is going to take their game up a level next season? You go first.
I'm going to have to go. But I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Now, quickly, who do you think is going to raise their game next season? Last comment of the day.
I think the player who's going to raise their level that might surprise some people, in my opinion, is Sambi Lokonga. Sambi Lokonga has a lot of room to improve from the season prior. He didn't really get an opportunity to show everyone what he's made of. Hopefully in the Europa League and now playing more games, he'll definitely show people what he's made of.
Okay. Big up, man. Thanks for coming through today, you guys.
No worries. And guys, if you don't know, I'm doing a video on my channel, EGTV. So you can come check it out after you're done here with my guy, Nigerian Englishman. And Aussie Gooner, everybody on the panel, you're welcome to join also.
Big up, man. Just send us the link, bro. I'll try and hop in, man. Bless.
Yeah.
Take it easy, bro.
Peace.
All right. Aussie, who do you think is going to raise their game next season? Who's going to surprise us?
Raise their game. Well, I'm going to say Odegaard because I think Odegaard is a player that needs to raise his game. And I think he's going to be... I think his game's going to be levels upon because of the players that are going to be around him. But I think he will raise his game. I think we're going to see more from Odegaard this season. I'm hoping, though.
Do you think with Odegaard, I don't know if you agree with me, I believe Arteta kind of made him a little bit too comfortable when he stopped starting the likes of ESR as a 10 and giving
That's a
him the option
possibility,
on the
man.
left.
No
He
pressure.
could have 3 bad games and then he'd still be in the starting the
Well,
fourth
there was
game.
a time when Odegaard was dropped.
For
Good
a
point,
game.
Kenneth.
For a game. It was only a game. And
No,
he was
no.
back in the side.
No,
I think it was 2 or 3 games.
Yeah. He
Where?
was.
When?
Do you remember
Yeah,
Leicester?
he was dropped,
Leicester
man.
away. He weren't playing. He wasn't starting because that's when we played the 4-4-1-1 that Ozzy was talking about.
No,
and we
but
had Laka.
after he got back in the team, because that's when his run really started, when he was dropped, and then he got back in the team.
He was excellent in that part, though. He was excellent. That's when he was scoring like a few goals.
Yeah, he going on a mad run.
So
I honestly think
Odegaard
we're going to
for
see
you.
the best of him next season, man. I think we're going to see more of him from next season. We're going to hopefully see his value. Yeah, and fuck James Maddison. I hate James Maddison. It's not that he's a bad player. I just fucking hate him.
I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you.
He's an Arsenal fan, you know.
I couldn't care less. I still fucking hate him.
I mean, so is Harry Kane, Kenneth.
seriously.
You know.
I was gonna say Martin Odegaard, but the Aussie gonna beat me to that. So I'm going for Bukayo Saka. Because I'm getting a Bukayo Saka shirt next season. So I want to see him step up on what he has done for the previous season. What a season he has had: 38 games, double figures goals, and 7 assists. So that speaks volume of where it's progressing to. I want to see, because for me, I believe when it comes to players, if you want to get top there to being a world-class player, consistency is going to be key. So I want to see him get double figure goals come next season, and hopefully double figure assists also. I want to see him do better than what he has done for the previous season. So we could be talking about his ceiling could be going higher, and we could potentially have a world-class player in our hands in Bukayo Saka. So for me, I want to see Saka's the little Chile, or our star boy, like we would love to call him, step up on what he has done for the previous season and the next season. And hopefully we could be achieving a lot more than we did last season with all of those goals and assist contribution at the end of the season.
If Saka does that, that's world-class levels, right? And
Bro. And I believe that's with the trajectory of his career.
He should do it
expecting to get 20+ goal contributions should be that next level. I know it's not easy, but that's the level. If we're gonna talk about him, star boy, progressing well, this is what he needs to improve. And even though he scored more goals this season, he still needs to improve his decision making in front of goal as well.
On the left.
So, I would love to on the left. I would love to see that.
To the left, to the left.
That progress this season.
Let me temper that. And here's a little kind of thing, right? Maybe you haven't even thought about. So
woken up cannons again, Ozzy.
Saka's contract is coming up, right? To 2 years left, right? So now we're into 2 years realm, okay?
He signs this summer, bro. He renews it this summer.
Well, you don't know. Now, the Raphinha thing for me, from Arteta and the management, is so smart, right? Reason being is that I feel is that we're not so reliant on Saka. So when it does come to negotiations, you know what I mean? There's a little bit more balance in, it'll still be with the player, but there'll be a little bit more balance, when it comes to negotiation in terms of how much and what we can do, etc., etc. So that's another reason why I feel that Saka will be playing off the right, along with Raphinha off the right. So I think them two are going to switch. Sometimes, it will happen where Saka will come off from, will play on the left, depending on injuries, etc. and stuff.
You know what?
We get Raphinha.
That's how I think that we're going to start. That will have.
You know what I think will happen? This is what will happen. I reckon, like Canna says, Saka will start games on the right, but those are only in games that Raphinha isn't starting.
Yeah,
I agree.
Which are going to be none, because Raphinha is going to be starting and Saka will be on the left. So,
but do we know actually if Raphinha has played off the left?
He has a couple games for Leeds, but he's not been outstanding. Listening to Leeds fans talking about him because Igala Joe on his channel.
Saka is on the left.
Okay.
Nah, he's not, because he's not someone. He's not like Saka in a way. Because Saka's very versatile. He can play in those half spaces a little bit better than Raphinha, because Raphinha Mahrez-esque. He likes to get chalk on his boots.
Watch me sell this to Canners. You saw that lineup, right? You remember it. You remember it really well. Who did you see on the left-hand side where Saka will be in the midfield. You saw Yuri Tielemans.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, Yuri Tielemans is the kind of guy who doesn't mind taking a crack from outside the box. Am I right?
Right.
100.
So now, instead of every single bloody player jumping onto Saka and onto his back, when you've got Yuri Tielemans sitting there, sort of outside the box, waiting for a 1-2, you've got Teeny bombing down the left, saying, "You know what? I'm here too, bro." And then you got Saka there. What the hell is that? That's a massive overload.
But you have to question that. And what I mean by that is, okay, for example, his Tielemans goal against Chelsea in the FA Cup final. What side of the pitch was he on?
Here we go.
What side?
Was he on the right? I'm guessing.
Right.
All right, we're not gonna get into it now because we're closing the show, guys. So anyway,
but look, listen as well. In terms of what does Tierney do well? He overlaps. Now, if Saka's playing on the left, how on earth is Tierney going to overlap when Saka's getting or supposed to be getting as a left winger chalk on his boots?
Half spaces. He's a half space.
Exactly.
He plays in the half spaces,
But
and
that's what our front two wingers should be doing, coming inside, so that allows both fullbacks to overlap outside. But that is what's supposed to happen, and that's what Arteta wants to happen.
You're not going to get that.
Real quick.
I'm causing havoc here. I know.
Like,
I'm not letting it go, bro.
As an all-round player, Saka is better than Raphinha, but in their best position, Raphinha is better as a right winger than Saka currently is as a right winger. So that's why he can adapt to those half spaces that Tereak was saying.
So the question is then, is Martinelli or Saka better coming off the left?
I think Saka.
Because I'll agree with you on that. And you know why? Because I think Saka can put a ball into the box on that left-hand side, but he can also work with the overlap with Tierney, right? And Raphinha is very direct. He can also cross into the box. So I just think the reason why you're going to put Saka to the left is because everybody was whinging about no overlapping runs from the right from Takahiro. You're not going to get Takahiro bombing down. He's a big boy. When you got a player as
Tierney doing that on the left, right?
Yeah, but Tierney is not a big boy. He's the size of my pen. So the thing is, right? When you've got a player as fast as Raphinha, right, who doesn't really need any support from his right back because he can take on a player and doesn't slow down. Just pull up.
Yeah,
somewhat,
I hear
right?
That.
You know what I mean? It's a lot more.
Guys, wait, hold on. Before we
can start this all over again. We go for 2 hours, man.
I know, right? Make a new show on this. Me against the world on Martinelli and Saka on the left wing.
Canners and Tarik. First of all, who are your players that you reckon are going to raise their game next season?
Go on,
All right, free touches next week. We're going to discuss this comments that they were talking about here this week, guys. Next Friday, catch us for the follow-up. But yeah, Canners.
I think Thomas Partey for me. I think this needs to be a big year for him to show him the world's class talent. Because for me, he was the one player I said is going to be the world class player in our squad. He showed shades of that last season, but what I want to see is the more consistent, from an injury perspective, version of Thomas Partey. Once we have that, we have such a well-oiled machine, man, when he's fit and when he's playing. And if we can get that in the big games as well, because if you think of the games that he didn't play, man, Tottenham, you know, the back end of this season just gone, you know, your Tottenhams, your Newcastles, those games, that was crying out for Thomas Partey just to grab hold of that midfield. Do you know what I mean? Calm things down. Because he's so press resistant as well. I know I'm using that word or whatever, but it's such an integral part. Because when you got teams like that going for you when you're playing away, and he can sidestep a player, play us a nice little through ball, whatever, that makes such a big difference. And the players that we had in midfield can't do what he does. So what I want to see from a vast improvement from our player, really, and I think we'll get it this year, and because he's had a huge long layoff, have a great preseason, play preseason games, get, you know, his fitness up to make his body stronger, and because the Premier League is a different beast to La Liga. Once he gets that, I feel that we're going to have, as Wenger says, a new signing. Do you know what I mean? I actually think that he's going to be big this year. There
you go.
Right,
big shout.
Right.
He's our most important player in my eyes. But,
And Tereak is your guy. He's your guy that's going to raise his game next season, man.
just before I do, just as DWTT said, man, guys, subscribe to the channel. We're only two subscribers away for One Touch TV to hit the 400 mark. So go smash that,
guys.
people.
It ain't hard.
Smash
It doesn't
that
cost
subscribe,
anything. It's
big.
free.
It's free.
It's free.
Hey,
Just
And
like the air
button
you
is
breathe.
free.
It's free.
before I
free
say who I say, and then you guys will run off and say, "Forget this. I'm never listening to Tereak again."
He's gonna say Tavage.
He is.
Nah.
If you say fucking Tavage, I'm gone.
Nah. Make sure you hit that like button as well, as Kago said. So yes, but the player I'm going for, I'm glad we've all gone for someone different.
Yeah, same.
He goes by the name of Edward Kadar Nketiah. Number new 14.
Chalet boy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've got 2 Nigerians in here, but I'm picking a Ghanaian. All right. So with Eddie Nketiah this season, I'm sorry, Ozzy. I'm gonna convert you now. You've been trying to do your work on Canners. Listen, Eddie Nketiah. From when, if we remember, in pre-season. Do you guys remember watching any few preseason games like against Burning and whatnot? And Eddie Nketiah was playing off the left in those games, and he was actually looking all right. I know it's preseason, you can't take too much into it, but he was looking like there's a little bit of a development in his game. But then he got struck with an ankle injury, which meant he missed the start of the season, which is where Balogun was getting games. He wasn't looking quite ready. And it felt like Arteta, because we had Aubameyang and Lacazette at that point, was reluctant to trust Eddie. Of course, when you got 350 grand a week, striker, captain, and then 100 grand plus in Lacazette, you can't. It's difficult to give him that time and room and that trust. And I can understand that's why he wanted to leave. But then, when you look at his progression in his game, my problem with Nketiah is not his goal scoring ability or the areas that he picks up in the box, but it's everything he does outside of the box in terms of his link up with his back to goal. Can he drift out wide and really cause problems driving inside? I've seen a big progression from the start of the season into the end. And the best game to look at it was Manchester United. Man's holding off Rafael Varane. Yeah. You were there, Canners. You saw it. Back to goal. Rafael Varane, one of the world's elite centre-backs. And
he gave them a problem all game. And I felt sorry for him that he had to go off because he was on a hat-trick. And you could see he was disappointed that he was coming off. And I love that. Big shout. Big shout.
He's getting a lot more trust in game time. And he said himself on the Beautiful Game podcast, how can I prove myself and my ability in cameos off of the bench? You know, we spoke about Pepe. Pepe was poor when he came off the bench, apart from Wolves, which is also a game where Eddie Nketiah came off the bench and performed well too, got the assist for that own goal. So I'm thinking Eddie Nketiah, now he's going to get a lot more minutes, a lot more trust by Arteta. This is his time to prove himself. He will not get a better opportunity than this season coming up. With the players that we're looking to build around him, the chances he will get. I think he's a more natural goal scorer than Gabriel Jesus.
I agree.
Technically refined. You don't score the goals that Eddie has done throughout.
He's like your Pippo Inzaghi kind of like forward. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly that.
There's kind of finishes like be one touch finish, bam.
Remember his debut. You can't teach that. You cannot teach that.
2 goals off the bench.
Yeah. No, bro. No, seriously, man. You might mock him and stuff, but there's something about him which I love to see. Even when I think we lost against Everton, but when he come on, he made a difference at Everton.
And he should have scored then.
Look,
he should have scored. He should have scored. But the thing is, though, he actually looked sharp. And I remember just thinking, like, oh, okay.
These guys are saying Eddie Nketiah now. Is that what we're saying? Eddie Nketiah. Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Is this Eddie Nketiah coming in with the 14? What? It's got it all going now.
Have I given you a little bit of belief in there? Come on, if I've done that, then
I'm not. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't see.
You can't see it. I can't see it.
Look, if you can prove me wrong, I want to be wrong.
This is what I'll say about Eddie. Eddie, I won't lie. I didn't really want him to re-sign the contract, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be one of these Arsenal fans that go against him because he signed the contract. Now he's at my club for at least at least the next season. Who knows what could happen next summer, but we'll talk about that next summer. But yeah, for now, he's at Arsenal. And if Eddie can give me 10 Premier League goals this season, not Carabao Cup or Europa League, you know he loves to do those ones there. I'm talking about Premier League goals. He's worth every penny. And I hope and pray he does it, because if anyone has been getting a lot of stick from fans and opposition fans, I heard Deji calling him Eddie M Kitty Catty. Someone was calling him Eddie Murphy.
Show some respect on his name. They'll find out.
I want him to really get that respect back. So I would love for Eddie to put a middle finger up to the haters and bag some goals next season, because you never know.
He scored some good goals, man, and some important goals last year. The goal, against Chelsea, no one in the squad would have scored that apart from him. When he chased down the back pass, Lacazette ain't scoring that kind of goal.
But do you know what this could be like, guys, with Eddie Nketiah? And I was saying it. I can't remember what stream I was on, but I mentioned it. I said, I hope it is another situation like when we had Aaron Ramsey. I don't know if you guys. There was one stage of Ramsey where Wenger just kept playing him and he was playing awful. I was like, what is this guy doing?
And the winger net.
Rubbish. Yeah. Right wing, left wing. I'm like, what's going on here? But then out of nowhere, he just started banging. So I'm hoping the way Ramsey made me eat my words, I hope Eddie makes me eat my words. I hope we all get the call from Eddie and he bangs in 10 plus Premier League goals next season.
Europa League final. We're seeing Eddie and Gabriel Jesus.
I say to close the show.
Me. This has really gone bad, boys. It was working out so well, but it's gone into the shit.
To close the show, a player that I believe is going to step up next season.
You got to go different now.
Yeah, I've got to go. I'm going to go with William Saliba, because, I mean, at the end of the day, he's starting with a kind of a blank slate at Arsenal where no one really knows what to expect. We know that he had all the accolades in France. He's got into the national team. I believe now he's come back as a man, not a boy that he was signed in originally. He's come more of a matured man, French international, League Young Player of the Year with a point to prove. He says he's an Arsenal fan, so he should want to do it even more so than just your regular guy. So, and that's why Eddie might score.
Let me ask you this question, right? And Nigel, I'm so with you on this one as well, right? Because imagine, right, we were signing, right, transfer wise, the young player of the year in France.
Bruv,
just imagine.
It will be.
We'll be excited, right? I can't believe that we should be excited that this guy's coming back. We should be so excited that this guy's coming back.
I'm
because
excited.
It is like a new signing. One is like he's the young player of the year in France, in a French national, full international now.
And you're spot on. If he was available for another club and they're like, French young player, League One young player of the year is available now, all the teams will be talking about him.
Big.
Yeah.
And whoever ended up signing him would be
Man United.
They just got
Man United put him off. Yeah, Man United.
So let's make the most of it.
Yeah.
Man, you would be all over him, offering him 120 million and 300 racks a week for a salary and that. Yeah. You know what, man, you are.
Well, maybe the old Man United,
guys,
not this one.
We finally got to the end of the show. This has been my longest stream. This has been exactly. This has been my longest stream. It's also been the stream where I've had the most viewers. I appreciate every single one in the comment section, everyone on the panel. A few last comments from a couple.
Hey, go back to that Martinelli one. Go back to that Martinelli one. Don't just gloss over that one.
Canners, allow your burner account, man. Come on.
Okay.
I'll read it out then, Canners, if you wanted that comment so bad.
No, but do you know what? I agree with 95% of that. No, but what you say? I mean, look, it's neither a plus or a negative at the moment. I mean, Martinelli and Saka are two different players when you look at it. If you want, someone who's going to put pressure on that back line and is probably, I would say Martinelli's probably more of a goal threat, whereas Saka's probably bit more technically gifted. who will probably, you know, find a pass or play a one touch, boom, boom, get past you and then get a shot in that kind of way. But in terms of goal threat, I would say Martinelli is probably that little bit more of a goal threat. That's what Saka needs to work on this year, is his shooting, big time.
Martinelli, left foot, right foot header. He's got goals coming from all over.
Saka needs to get more goals this year, in my opinion. He needs to be that bit more prolific.
Martinelli needs more goals.
No, 100%, 100%. There's only really ESR really who hit the numbers really. Who ESR?
Oh, we lost Nigel for a second.
So what did you say?
No, Martinelli.
Yeah, no, Martinelli. He needs more goals, but he needs more consistent. Because if you remember at the start of the season, he was hardly playing.
Yeah. He only come on. He only come on because ESR had that trouble. Then he comes on and starts fucking kicking it, and then ESR's like, "What about me? What about you? Who are you? Sit the fuck down."
All right, guys. Before my internet does a mad thing and kicks me out, bruv, round up the show one time. Big up everyone in the comments. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please, after you finish watching, drop that subscribe button so I can hit those 400 subscribers. Everybody on the panel, all their socials are in the description of this video, guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you back on Monday for North London Rivals. Have a good day, guys.
Loved it. Thank you.
Bless.